Where's the hand? Are you good?
The later. This is far from good. This is not. We'll be live on YouTube in 30 seconds.
It promises to be a bumpy ride this year with all of the developments that we've seen over the weekend. Some not so lekker for our democracy. My name is Bongani. I am the national spokesperson of this very beautiful, very awesome, very growing, very energetic, very forward-thinking green party, green movement called ActionSA. We welcome you all to this really, really auspicious, one of many, you know how we do, ActionSA press conferences. We are live on YouTube. The link has been shared. We will be taking a Q&A straight after all of the speakers have had a chance to address you. Please do keep your questions really short and to the point, and we will take all of them because we want to get through all of them. Without much further ado, let me bring to the podium our national chairperson, Mr. Michael Bowman. Michael?
Thank you very much, Loretta, and greetings to my fellow colleagues in ActionSA. Welcome to members of the media, and of course to those South Africans who are following these proceedings live. It is a great pleasure that our first media briefing of 2022, It's a great pleasure that our first media briefing of 2022 is such a positive one, and I'm sure you will join me in that assessment. In 2021, we had to hold a number of media briefings which were about fighting to be on ballot papers, and it's wonderful to be here in celebration of good news. It is my view that you can tell a lot about a political party based on the caliber of individuals who are joining it. And I think based on today, you will agree that 2022 is going to be a powerful year for ActionSA. We are not going to spend much time talking about other political parties or previous political homes from which people come. I think today is a celebration and it is positive news, and we would rather like to express today in terms about what this means for ActionSA going forward. It is my great pleasure to introduce to you a South African who requires very little introduction. Baloyi was born in Thokoza in 1987. His father was a foreman at a warehouse and his mother an entrepreneur. He was fed politics from a young age. His father, his uncle was in the ANC, so was his mother and his grandmother, and he began attending ANC meetings at the age of 8 or 9 years old. Bongani moved across to the Democratic Alliance in the early 2000s, where he became a councillor and an MMC for Development Planning in 2011. He is currently finalising a Bachelor's in Business Administration, but I think most importantly, Bongani became the youngest mayor in South Africa in 2013 at the age of 26. And I think most importantly, the reason why his name is so respected and known in South Africa today is that Bongani combined youth with excellence and achieved a track record in Midvaal municipality that is unparalleled in local government in South Africa. I'll offer you some of those facts now. 7 consecutive clean audits, heralded by the Auditor General, Kimi Makwetu, as an example in local government. Midvaal was ranked the 5th best municipality in South Africa in 2020 and has long been regarded the best municipality in Gauteng. Midvaal boasts the lowest unemployment rate in Gauteng, on 12% in the narrow definition and 18% in the broad definition of unemployment. And as you know, unemployment levels in Gauteng stand at 45% by way of contrast. And the Midvaal municipality has won many awards under his leadership. Most recently, the PMR African Golden Arrow Award for a municipality that does the most in the following fields: social upliftment, attracting foreign investment, clean environment, and infrastructure development. There are an enormous number of accolades that would not even do the individual justice, but I can say that I have known Bongani for a very long time, and his character and what he brings to this organization by way of leadership is something for which we will place a premium going forward. So I think with all that being said, let's hear from the man of the moment, Bongani Baloyi.
Good morning. My name is Bongani Baloyi. Well, today is a very important occasion. I'm very excited, I'm very enthused, I'm very energized to be here. Let me extend a warm greeting to President Mashaba and the leadership collective of ActionSA and the members of media and fellow South Africans. I must state from the outset that my joining ActionSA is not out of anger or out of disappointment. It's actually because of the hope they invoke. I joined ActionSA knowing very well of the work that lies ahead for all of us. This is a very significant move in our country. I believe this is the actual realignment of our politics in the country, where South Africans of all capabilities, of all diversity, need to join hands and work together, because we've got one enemy, and that enemy is the African National Congress. Our country needs to be rescued. And it's for many South Africans who are capable and able South Africans to say, we will not be despondent any longer. We are going to actually step up and get into the ring and ensure that we fight for a South Africa that can deliver a prosperous future for all. I'm very proud of my record with the Democratic Alliance and of the work that I've achieved. I'm also proud of my tenure as the mayor of Midtown, and I must extend my sincere appreciation to the community of Midtown, who are the real heroes of my tenure as executive mayor of Midtown, where we were able to build a stable, sustainable, and financially viable institution that remains an ongoing concern, that has reserves of 250 million north of that amount. That's a municipality which I have, and the legacy of my leadership will remain in Midtown. And I wish the colleagues in Midtown all the best in ensuring that they protect this legacy and continue the good work that we have started. So as me joining ActionSA, it's me saying I'm committed to work for the betterment and improvement of South Africans under the banner of ActionSA. I'm encouraged by the ActionSA brand. Look at these South Africans, capable South Africans sitting here. Some of them whom many of us did not know of just 2 years ago are sitting here. So it tells me that if someone who can take a decision to start a journey and build a party for all South Africans, look at the outcome already. So I'm excited to add my little contribution to this fantastic team. I'm really enthused to work towards our goal of 2024 to dislodge the ANC. And that's something I'm committed to, and that's something I'm pledging my commitment, my skill towards whatever capacity as seen fit by ActionSA for me to contribute. So I'm really excited, and as they say, as cat.
I can't.
Thank you so much, Bongani, and definitely a warm welcome. We have been fighting our time. Everybody's been asking, who is this new person that's coming into ActionSA? And for me, those who are close, it's hard to be in some of our positions because people think we're so close, I must say something. I said, hey, I received Mr. Mashaba's marching orders about zipping my lips. And so I think I've done well, President, by doing that. I would be remiss, folks, if we did not give a chance to our President, Mr. Mashaba, to address you. Mr. Mashaba.
Thank you, good afternoon, and greetings to members of the media and the entire South African nation watching these proceedings through the various platforms. We really and greatly appreciate your interest in what's happening in ActionSA. Please, fellow South Africans, allow me to add my own voice in welcoming this great South African, Bongani Baloyi, within the ranks of ActionSA. We feel immensely proud to really have this really young man joining our organization. ActionSA has emerged from the 2021 local government elections as a success story. Groundbreaking electoral reform that South Africa has ever seen. I think if you look at analysts a year ago, and I challenge anyone, look at what the analysts were saying about us. Some of us are calling us stockfells. And elections, with the IEC doing everything possible, making it difficult to register as a political party, made us to contest as a local. But look at the results of what happened. And I think let me just really share you with you some of the successes, which no one can dispute. We brought the ANC under 50% in 3 KZN municipalities. We brought the ANC under 40% in 3 Gauteng municipalities. The metros, under 40%. Everyone said, no, bring them under 50%. We brought them under 40%. For the first time, we brought the ANC by the national level under 50%. It is because of ActionSA's efforts. We now, as I'm talking to you, part of a coalition government in these 3 metros, delivering services to the people of Gauteng. Because the only way you can make a difference to the lives of people, that's when you're in government. And one thing that we've been saying as ActionSA all along, that we are concerned with opposition parties because they are happy to be in municipalities as councillors or as in provincial level or as members of parliament, but not with the intention of unseating the ANC. And the only way we believe we can do that, that's where we're in government. Ladies and gentlemen and fellow South Africans, here's a party that contested in 6 municipalities. But today, as we are talking to you, we're the 6th biggest political party in South Africa. I mean, it is beyond imagination, but it is real. We are the 6th biggest political party. And we are a party only a year old. When other parties contested in 276 municipalities, we only contested in 6. Why? Because we were strategic. We wanted to really be in government. We wanted to bring down the ANC and do it through the constitutional framework available to us as in a country. We are the only party that won serious support away from the ANC, breaking the mold of opposition parties, challenging other opposition parties, and winning 20% in places like Soweto and Alexander, here in Soweto, in Waterloo. All of this was achieved as a party. It was launched only a year before, and with the names not properly reflected on the ballot box, as I said, and this attributed to a deliberate, unapologetic, deliberate efforts by the IEC to make us contest as a local. Our success is not our own. It belongs to the people of South Africa who responded to ActionSA. ActionSA is a political home for all South Africans, irrespective of race or political background. Our commitment to free South Africa from ANC government, and we did this already in 2021, and we are going to continue with a project that I'm sure you are aware of, already called ActionSA 2024 project. This 2024 project is a project to save and save the people of this country so that we can democratically remove ANC government out of power. We are committed to developing solutions to fix South Africa, and we believe we are the only political party not only committed but capable of actually unseating the ANC. Arising from this success has been South Africans coming forward to be part of ActionSA. I don't know if you'll believe it, but fortunately it's a fact. Within days of the election results, our membership base actually doubled. Within days, our membership doubled. Professional South Africans offering their skills and expertise, registering in numbers. I'm unable to actually do my proper work with a number of great South Africans coming from political backgrounds, academia, business people, ordinary South Africans asking Mashaba, how do we assist in ensuring that we can save this beautiful country of us? As I said, significant leaders from various political parties, and I'm glad to really have someone like Baloyi here. ActionSA now faces the critical task of growing from a party that contested 6 municipalities to a party of a national in Bloemfontein, everywhere, in Potchefstroom, ActionSA structures are there. I'm sure you're aware, all of you, something I'm extremely proud about, and further announcements are going to be made soon, where you're aware we've really managed to get Kosi Kwinamomope to be a provincial chairperson for the Northwest. It's actually really one of the most exciting prospects of ActionSA. Unfortunately, it happened during the festive season, just before Christmas. So we are planning to really have a big launch of our campaign for the Northwest under the chairmanship of Kosi Mamope. In the coming days, we'll be developing our strategic plans for 2024 that will deliver upon our commitment to remove the ANC from government. We will soon, in 2 weeks' time or so, going on a 3-day strategic session, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Monday, we are happy and proud that we are going to really share you the outcome of our plans. Because we are running a political party to save South Africa. We are running a political party that is bound to really be transparent in everything that we do. Part of these plans depend on ActionSA deepening and diversifying its pool of leadership so that we can touch and be passed from one generation to the next in terms of fixing our beautiful South Africa. Bongani Baloyi is a perfect example of what we see as ActionSA. A young, dynamic South African, I'm sure, Bongani, I'm not insulting you to call you young. I'm sure you're aware, Bongani qualifies to be my son. In fact, in just over a year, in a month or so, I'll be married for 40 years. And this young man is 36 years, so he's my son. He qualifies to be my son, in all respect. And I think for me it's a privilege to get such an opportunity to really work with someone in equal status than me, serving in the Senate of our organization. It's without any doubt an intelligent person, young man, driven and capable. Michael has already indicated, and all of you are aware of the capability of Bongani. He's got a track record in government. We are not talking about someone like Herman Mashaba in 2016 where he took a decision to be the mayor, not even knowing what people do in cancer. Here we've got someone with 10 years of experience, with track record unparalleled, who is now joining our project. He's somewhat committed to the project of fixing South Africa. Most of all, I respect that he achieved this excellence under the banner of the youth of our country, becoming a mayor at the age of 26. I met Bongani in January to be fair and transparent shortly after setting up ActionSA. I respected his views at the time that he would want to see his term out of office in mid-term and his commitment to depart with dignity. And that's exactly what he did. Had a very and I thought, Herman, you know how to negotiate. And after that, well, I said, Herman, I respect everything that you say. Unfortunately, I've got my dignity to protect. Please allow me to finish my term and not let the people of me fall down. And I think that is something that makes me very proud for Bongani, and I respect it, and I kept quiet about it. And I thought you'll be another one of those South African politicians who are politicians with a stomach that Bongani might just really decide to offer us in the best that he. And I can tell you, as I'm talking to you right now, there were offers to Bongani some 3 to 4 times what ActionSA was offered to me. He said, no, I'm committed to your project of fixing South Africa, and I want to be part of that journey. This for me, it's not about my stomach. I can only eat 2 or 3 meals a day, that's all. But my future, I'm this young man, I'm looking at the future of saving this country. So Bongani, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be appointed to serve on our Senate. The Senate is our highest decision-making body of ActionSA, so that I think we can really have someone who can really bring a totally different perspective, bring government and local government experience to us as ActionSA. So for us as ActionSA, we are actually quite spoiled for choice to determine the most appropriate role that we want to serve for 2024. And I said to him this morning when we were talking, I said to Bongani, as much as we've not gone into serious details about the premier candidate for Gauteng, which is there for the taking. I said, obviously, ActionSA process runs through the primary system. We remember, all of you, for you to be a leader of ActionSA in public office, we run a primary system which we ran successfully with the local government elections, and we are going to do that. So I'm going to really do everything possible to ensure that Bongani throws his head in the ring, but it is not going to be automatic that it will be our premier candidate. He's going to compete, like I competed, remember when I was the mayor candidate for the city of Johannesburg. I went into competition with others. We ended up, the 3 of us, and the announcement was made in this room where I had 94% support. So, Bongani is going to face the same type of challenge, but just imagine for us as ActionSA, we are spoiled for choice, and people of South Africa can really be grateful for it. So, ladies and gentlemen, it really and truly gives me great pleasure to welcome Bongani Baloyi, successful mayor for 10 years running the Limpopo municipality, to his new home called ActionSA. Bongani, thank you very much. Really and truly grateful, and we look forward to working with you to deliver the 2024 project to see ActionSA as part of the government of South Africa without the ANC. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mashaba. I think this is working, right? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we did something that we should have done this at the beginning of the presser, but of course time is what it is. The people that you see at this table are part of our highest decision-making body in the party, in the organization. It's the Senate. So on my far right, you have Dean Solomon, who's also part of our Youth Advisory Council. Next to him, he needs very little introduction. He wears too many hats. I do not know actually what he does in the party at the moment, but it's Abel Dawu. Everybody knows him. And then Michael Bowman, who is our national chairperson. Needs absolutely no introduction. I will skip you, Dr. Mashama, if you don't want to hop the way. And then you have on my left we've got Angela Sobi, who's also part of our Senate. And then John Moody equally needs very little introduction. The General John Moody. And then next to John, also needs no introduction. We've got Mr. Kunzi Bongani. With that, welcome everyone to those I haven't seen. I'll open now for questions. If you can indicate the media house that you represent, as well as to whom you are you are directing your question. I can only imagine who it's going to be for all of you, but I just thought for good measure I should take that. Elisa, your hand was up first. I'll take your hand. You know, you will get your chance.
Elisa Njabale, Television News. Of course, the question is obviously you say you joined ActionSA, and I'd like to point to because of the hope that the party is able to. Does that mean that the party that you were part of, the Democratic Alliance, can mean that you felt that they did not invoke back home for South Africa anymore? Thank you.
Thank you. Don't jump at any time, Abo. You are welcome.
Bongile Dumako, SABC News. Let us Bongani to you. Why now? You've explained the reasoning, your vision, but the timing is right. Why now? Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Ndayezo from Power FM. Again, it's to Bongani as well. And Demasha, when did you have that conversation that you mentioned, that glass of wine? In one period?
No, it wasn't just a glass of wine. It was nice lunch with.
Yeah, sure. At what period did it happen? Was it after the formation of ActionSA, before, after the local government elections, and also Bongani, just after the conversation? What is it that then made you decide to leave? Was it what were the main issues that decided? I think ActionSA is the best one for me. I think that's the long answer of that question. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much. Belan Pahadi, Newsroom Africa. Bongani, of course, one of the youngest people when we got into journalism, we had to note that you are one of the youngest mayors and doing very well, team audit. But I would need to ask, besides you feeling that it was time to move into a new umbrella of shade where you could be able to prosper as an individual and bring about some change, were you purged out of the Democratic Alliance? Was there a disagreement beside the way that you've gone out? You say you've gone out with dignity. Were there fundamental differences that made you change your tune about the way you feel that the DA is moving into the trajectory of heading in one South Africa as act as one, your motto there? The second one to you, Mr. Mashaba, you say from Zanin to elsewhere in the country. How far is the process of erecting those branches across the country of yours, and what is your target?
Erecting or election?
Erecting. Erecting. Getting them.
Erecting.
Hey, Macha. Hey, Macha. Hey, Macha. Where are your mind?
Where is his mind? Where is his mind? His mind.
Okay, all right.
The lady had the hand up first, so please go ahead. Sorry, I can't see everybody under the mask, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Norma Echo from Business Day. So this question is for Mr.
Great.
Baloyi Treaty, ActionSA. Mr. Baloyi, do you think the return of DA leader Helen Zille has done more damage to the party than good, particularly following the fact that the exodus of black leaders joining ActionSA came after her coming into the party? That's one question. Number two, maybe directed to Mr. Mashaba. What's your stance on Makosi Kwaza's departure, particularly because there's been rumors around there having been ANC insiders in the party trying to cause division within ActionSA and factions? And maybe number three, what's your point again on the issue of locals having to take the law into their hands, removing foreign nationals from their shops? They're saying that they are taking more jobs and that the current party has not addressed that issue post-democracy. Thank you very much.
Great. I think that's a mouthful. We can take another round if there's still an appetite, but Dr. Badam, I'll give you the floor.
Thank you so much. Do I need a mic?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'll deal with the easy ones. I'll leave the difficult ones to Dr. Mashab. I think these are very important questions. The first one from SABC. If I say I like red, does it mean I hate blue? That's the gist of the question. When the response is really, when you reflect on this party, what it has achieved in a very short space of time, and you also have a deep dive into South African politics, and you see what they've been able to do, just opposed to that. Now, if that doesn't inspire you, there's generally something wrong with you. I think in this vision that as I see, if I can put it in football terms, Mr. Mashaba is losing Santa. This is what is happening here. So it's not about where you're from and whatnot. I had a fantastic journey in the Democratic Alliance. I have many battles in the Democratic Alliance. I was very aware that when you join politics, not joining some crash society. It's a serious task where you have conversations and disagreements about the policy, expressions, or articulations of the party, and where to take the country. So naturally, you're not going to find, it's not going to be a choir where everyone sings the same and has the same views, you're on the paper. But I have a full appreciation of that. And I cannot leave because of that. I'm nobody's victim, by the way. I came here on my own accord. I left on my own accord, and I'm still wanted. Where just the other day, I was still speaking to Helen Zille, and there's no beef at all. And I get it because it's the first time as South African media, you see a politician who's successful, who doesn't have a bad record, who's not being chased out of office, and who decides to exit gracefully. And why now? It's a perfect time now. I did not disrupt government where I was leading in Nedbank. I allowed for a transition, so there's stability and continuity of the government. Now my colleagues are back in there, there's stability, there's no issues. My departure won't affect the institution. And it was after there was conversations about within the party about coalitions, I allowed them the process and the time to conclude those. And a few days before Christmas, before going on holiday, it was a perfect time. There's no other news, and I knew that you'd hear that story. So that's really the gist of it. What is my role in the Senate? It will be to contribute and assist colleagues as and where the Senate feels I can contribute and be of assistance, and also be a resource for those in government as well. And ultimately, really, my own agenda is to set up my own political success. In a very small or meaningful way that I can do that, I intend to do so. Then there was a question about, my recollection of the conversation, I'm sure Dr. Mashaba will do his part. It started some time ago, just before even the departure, because we used to speak a lot about politics and where the country is going. So there's an understanding and an appreciation of shared values. So it wasn't difficult for us to continue such a conversation because of that foundation. I'll let Dr. Mashaba to speak about the first one. And obviously, when we saw what that I announced, like the departure of the DA, he publicly said that he invited for tea. We had a very nice tea and meaningful conversations. And then it followed up, and then we were in agreement, we found each other. Because part of my plan was still to venture into private sector, so I could take down a number of opportunities and only consider opportunities which I can continue with while being an active politician. So it's actually, This should be an example for many young politicians to ensure that you don't change yourself, you do your work, and ensure that you can still be active economically in the private sector without being dependent on politics. Then you'll end up seeing that you don't have any other prospect to move up the social mobility ladder than to speak. And I hope we can discourage and inspire many young people to do so. I was not present in the DA. I thought I said that out in the initial statement. Leading to my departure, none of you had anything that Bongani is being investigated for one thing or the other. It was a clean pull out. That's what it was.
A pull out.
So, yeah. So that's what it was. So I really hope that we'll resolve it. As Helen has returned into the DA being positive or negative, the best way to judge is the votes. I can tell you how I feel. How I feel means nothing. But the best thing to tell is the votes. And how do I feel? Yeah. I feel like I'm at a Monday press conference. so my views are immaterial because I'm Sumundo Donzangenizo. So the thing here is an objective set of facts. And in our case, how do you judge if the party is performing or not performing? It's the vote. So you do a comparative analysis of the vote. Then you see what the voters are saying. And equally, then you also have an understanding of voters who did not go and vote. And those who went to go and vote for a new entity which they believe in, which gives us hope. So I firmly believe that this here is the party that's going to be the center of the African politics for a very long time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bongani, Baloyi. Let me start with a question from IFM regarding when the initial discussions happened. Bongani and I come a long way with the 3 years of my mayoralty of the city of Johannesburg. We used to really meet at the events and just really became professional colleagues, not really friends. I mean, it's too young to be my friend. But immediately after the launch of ActionSA in August last 2020, I think, if I'm not wrong, if my recollection is correct, it must be about September, October, when the general called me for lunch to say, Bongani now officially launched this political party as a result of an exercise or initiative called the People's Dialogue, and someone that you is really, very critical. So that was the first encounter. It is at that meeting where he indicated to Mrs. Hammond, please allow me to live with dignity, allow me to finish my term, and we can talk thereafter. Obviously without giving me any commitment. And I was surprised, was it in December, when I learned of his departure from the DA. I didn't know anything. It took me by surprise. Akida still had his number, immediately called him, and the next day we had a lovely tea at my house. But even at that tea, there was no commitment at the time. And a few days before I left on vacation, I left for vacation on the 23rd. That's when I got a call that Bongani is here to talk. And I said, please wait for me to come back. Went back to Mexico 2 days or so. A few days later, that's when we had our real lunch, a real lunch that delivered this press conference. So that's really what really happened. And Newsroom Africa, at the time, we wanted to know how far we are in the process of creating structures nationally. Very, very far. I think Bongani, our National Director of Operations, actually exceeded our expectations. Because I can tell you, you can go to Potchefstroom. Michael, a few months ago, he was at some family wedding in the Free State, and one of the family members was asking him about being a member of a branch in the Potchefstroom. He said, what branch? And the other, actually, one time last year, I was watching SABC television, and I see ActionSA in somewhere in Mpumalanga, in Hazyview, a big event for ActionSA branch there, and people having a march and protest against the violence against women and children in Hazyview. So we've got such a do. At the moment, as you are aware, we only have four provincial chairperson, John Moody, heading Gauteng, doing a fantastic job. If anyone has to really fight for the removal of ANC below 40%, this is the man responsible, not me. These people tend to blame me for decimating the ANC. It's not me, it's John. He's our provincial chairperson in Gauteng. And we have Faiki Mento in the Western Cape who tried every trick in the book to get us to contest Western Cape, but we decided against it. And as you are aware, KZN, we had Makosi Koza, Dr. Koza, until her resignation from the party immediately after the election, but 2 weeks ago and a week ago. We now have a young man by the name of Musa Kubeka, who has taken over as our provincial chairperson for the KZN. Musa, fortunately enough, is a product of Funzi from the days of the People's Dialogue. It's not someone when, by the time Dr. Koza joined us, Musa was there from literally the beginning of the People's Dialogue. So it was an easy choice when the recommendation came after the resignation of Dr. Koza from that. And now the latest, we have Kosi Kwenamamope for the Northwest. We're really very excited about this. I can't remember the date, but I think it's beginning of March. I think on the 5th of March, 5th of March, Saturday, we're going to have a big event with all the structures that Funzi has put in place with Kosima Mobe to announce the launch of our Northwest campaign. So the other areas, actually this morning I tweeted because someone from the Eastern Cape said to me, I don't know the person, or one of the cheat accounts says, please, we need you in the Eastern Cape. When are you coming to the Eastern Cape? And I said, please assist us. And I'm asking all South Africans to assist us identifying people from the various provinces, Mpumalanga, Limpopo, Eastern Cape, and the Free State. But one thing I can assure you, I was very bullish last year that I will have all 9 provinces covered by March. But I think I must have smoked something. I don't know what it is because I don't smoke. But I think I don't think I was. I must have had something. I don't think practically it's possible. But one thing I can commit is that by end of this year, all 9 provinces have to be. We don't have a choice. We have to have all 9 provinces having provincial chairpersons, because we can't build and prepare our 2024 project without having provincial chairpersons. So one thing I can commit, and I'm happy to revise, that if don't take me on my march, I'm withdrawing. So my commitment, I must have been enthusiastic, but at the end of the day, I think I wouldn't want to just rush, because I'm sure all of you will appreciate that other political parties are doing everything possible to bring snakes into our environment. And one of the big things that we need to do is to ensure that we protect ourselves and protect this organization so that we can fix South Africa. So we've got to take our time and make sure that we respect the one core value of ActionSA, which is ethical leadership. So we are looking, we do have openings for the Eastern Cape, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, Free State, and Northern Cape. but watch the space. So I'll be calling you shortly. At an advanced stage of one of the provinces to really get another big fish. Really, that fish, if I catch it, or if we catch it, you'll be excited. Not to me, actually. Your South Africans are going to be excited with this fish. It's just that we're still really battling to really get it out of the water. It's a bit too heavy. But as soon as we can already bring it into our boat, we'll immediately call you to come and celebrate with us. And you raised the question of Dr. Makosi Khoza. Dr. Makosi Khoza, as you're aware, she resigned from Senate and as a provincial chairperson, and I have duly accepted, or as the Senate, we have duly accepted her resignation. At the moment, she's serving as a councillor in Etiquette municipality. But obviously, to be fair with you, and I've said to the media, I've laid a complaint with our disciplinary committee because I'm shocked, as much as President Cyril Ramaphosa, I'm not taking from him to be shocked. I am shocked by some of the statements made. So I'll leave that process, and I already ask you to please let's respect our process to really unfold, because I think I need to really be remove this shock that our subjected to. In terms of locals with illegal immigration, I'm sure all of you South Africans are aware. Fortunately enough, I'll still have a date when I make this announcement. 1st of December 2016, when I was addressing people of Johannesburg, giving them 100 days of my administration, I made a commitment, and I'm not going to apologize to anyone about this, that we have to confront this whole issue of illegal immigration in the country. But the fault is not with foreign nationals. The fault is with the Tripartite Alliance, Home Affairs, Department of Labor. We've got to deal with this as South Africans, and we've got to deal with it brutally. We cannot have a situation where 18 million South Africans are unemployed, and you come and talk to us about coming out with quotas. What quotas? What does the ActionSA? We are not prepared to even entertain quotas for illegal immigration, illegal people in our country. How do we negotiate with illegality? When people are in this country illegally, Home Affairs must process to see if they qualify to be in South Africa. And if they qualify, please give them the necessary papers so that they can be in our country legally, to legalize them. But those who are here for criminal intent, please send them back to their countries. We cannot negotiate with criminals. I mean, any country, anywhere in the world, if you are prepared to negotiate with criminals, then you know that country is doomed. Because our constitution is very clear around immigration in our country. This country was built at the back of migrants. And as the ActionSA, we support. And I've made it clear that you must continue inviting people of the world to come to South Africa. If it means you must have a red carpet and I must be there every day to go and welcome them, I'm happy to do that. But those who are here for illegal intent, destroying our infrastructure, bringing counterfeit goods, not registered with revenue services, this is totally unacceptable. ActionSA will never allow it. The only thing that I'm appealing to South Africans to say, please, we have a constitutional framework to work within. We don't have to unleash any violence against illegal foreigners who are here. Let us work and hold the Tripartite Alliance accountable, because they're the ones who are allowing this criminality to really persist. And therefore, for us as ActionSA,
we are saying, please let us use constitutional framework and resources instead of actually, where I've had some of the leaders the last few days calling on our people to chase away people from their communities. I take serious exception to those. Because then who's going to determine who's legal and who's not legal? I think, I don't want to live personally in a country like that. A country that has got laws, but we are prepared to really work outside the laws. So for me, for those leaders who are calling for people to be chased out of communities, it's totally unacceptable. We cannot really have kangaroo courts and allow people to take the law into their own hands. Hold government accountable, and that's our position. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mashaba. I'll take another round if there's an appetite. Otherwise, going once. Is there a hand? Go ahead, Nelson.
Just a second follow-up question. Do you think it has made a difference if you had someone from any structure join your rank before the election, and for someone that has had audits, or someone that not tainted, just someone of that structure join your party during the critical time in local government elections? What do you think would have happened, or do you think that it's insignificant? And just a second and last question from my side. I'm not sure if I should direct this to John, as having been part of those that were negotiating coalitions. But how's the coalition going so far since the formation of the coalition government? Thank you.
Well, I think your question, I don't know whether it's unfair or it's like I can tell you, I would have loved to have Nelson Mandela be a member of ActionSA before he died. It would have been wonderful. Or in fact, Desmond Tutu, I would have loved to have had an opportunity to have Desmond Tutu to be a member of ActionSA. Equally, I wanted Bongani to be a member of ActionSA, but I think his argument was really valid, and I think that's why I have such high regard and respect for him, because I think it would not have been fair for residents of Midval, even jumped ship, because you can imagine what impression people would have had about politics. In fact, we have done damage to the political ecosystem in South Africa, where politicians are happy to jump at whatever opportunity. So I think it would have been wonderful to have had him, but I think it would have done damage, as I said, to the political ecosystem. Would have done damage to the Midval municipality and the region. But we're great to have him now. We are grateful of the outcome of being the sixth biggest political party in the country. Just imagine the colleagues in the city of Johannesburg, our first round, first jab of our vaccine. From nothing to 44 councillors. Some of them are 44 councillors. 15 in Ikuruleni, 19 in Tshwane. I mean, you know what? I think if anyone cannot really be happy with such outcome, that person ought to be punished. Because I think we've got to be grateful of, yes, we might want to drive and but I can't afford it. I'm happy to drive a Volkswagen. And I'm happy in my Volkswagen at the time. Hopefully one day, in 300 years of life, and I must not really rush things when I'm not within my reach.
I must say that I'm very optimistic about our coalition partners and the group that we are, and the the multi-party governments that we had in Johannesburg, Kuleni, as well as in Tshwane. Over this past few months that we've been together, we've been holding firm. Cooperation is definitely something that we continue to work on. But there's one thing I'm assured of, and I want to assure South Africans, is that all parties who are party to and members of our coalition governments are absolutely committed to ensuring that we have stable governments in these three metros, and also to ensure that we continue to keep the ANC out of government. We're all fully aware of the ANC's quest and their battle to try and win back these municipalities, or should they not regain government in these three metros, of course the province will be lost to them in 2024. But South Africans have voted, and they've shown the inclination to reject the ANC and the corruption in 2019, and believe me, in 2024 we will see the same happening, not just in the province of Gauteng, but across the country.
Can I just really add on to what John has said and slightly bring a different perspective? I think coalition arrangements all over the world are difficult, not just in South Africa, it's nothing unique to South Africa. Are we facing challenges? I think anyone will be lying that we are not facing challenges. Look at what happened in Bongani. Our multi-party government lost all the chairpersons of those committees. So it's a concern to us. If anyone is going to say things are rosy, things are not rosy, there are challenges that are outside our control. Look at the city of Johannesburg. We've already had 2 council meetings to appoint chairpersons, and those meetings collapsed. We are having another one on Thursday. Is it going to succeed? I'm afraid it's something that we don't have any control over. And why I'm raising this, John is a very positive person. I'm coming from another perspective, because when we are experiencing difficulties in the past, but I'm staying one day you come back to us to say, but you said everything is rosy. When you can see it is not rosy. But one thing I can tell you, for us as ActionSA, we are committed to ensuring that we succeed and keep ANC out of the government. One thing I can tell you that is within our control as ActionSA. ANC will never get this municipalities back. Whatever is going to really happen, we are going to ensure that ANC, with the votes that we got, we are going to ensure that ANC does not really come back into the municipalities.
Thank you very much, Rama.
Thank you very much. My name is Rama Dabo from Malisa. And very much about a week or 2 ago, so some members from Soweto demonstrated their dissatisfaction regarding the PR election, the PR councillors elections. So I wanted to find out how far is the party to address the dissatisfaction.
Thank you. I'll take somebody else. Can I see if there's a hand? Okay, go ahead. Just hold on for me 1 second. Can I take one more round, and that will be the last question to be asked for this morning? Anyone else? Okay.
And also to add on what that gentleman is saying, there was discussion with those members. First of all, they did speak to us when we were sort of get memorandum case from them, and then he actually did make mention of it that those guys are suspended. So it would mean to be in my opinion that they are expelled. Thank you. So how far is that? Thank you.
Yeah, I think let us be clear, members of the media and fellow South Africans. I think let us be honest with one another. Let us not mislead society. Here we're talking about expelled former members of ActionSA. I think I have this discussion every time new members of the media interview me about these individuals. I think I want us to really be clear. Don't tell me about disgruntled members of ActionSA, because these are not members of ActionSA. These are former expelled members of ActionSA. I think we must agree on that because they've been expelled. And the reason why they've been expelled is because they think we run some kind of stokvel as ActionSA. We don't run a stokvel here. We run an organization with a very tight constitution that is fair for everyone. Our electoral system, as you are aware, we ran the primary system. People who are on our peer list went through a rigorous process of interviews and so forth. Our list that went to the IEC, we are proud to be one of the companies, organization that submitted our list to the IEC. And then immediately a few days after the election, people come back to us and say, no, we worked hard, we must change our list. They're the ones who worked hard. They must be the ones to really be members. I think, you know what, these people must understand that we don't operate like this. And I think what is said about it, and they're annoying at the same time, is that to say, no, we don't want to see anyone else, we want to see Mashaba, because Mashaba promised us that we will be councillors. My goodness, guys, I don't smoke. The last time I had a zone, I think probably 1978 when I was and even, I don't even smoke cigarettes. But yes, I do take alcohol, the wine and whatever from time to time when I want to relax. So, so people mustn't take things that I'm always thinking and deciding things. I can smoke something. I don't smoke. Then I can go around promising people a position. In fact, what is said about it is that some of these guys, I don't even know them myself. I don't even know them. So, obviously I said to them when I said, guys, I'm afraid I can't see you. We are busy with coalition arrangement because we want to keep ANC out of this government. Firstly. And secondly, we are as a party, we are claiming that you went hard, but you lost your ward. We want to do a review of our performance in every ward, in every BD, so that we can see people who have worked or not. We don't really use emotions. Unfortunately, they insisted that no, I must drop everything to come to Soweto to come and see them. I said, you know what? It will happen maybe 300 years away from our home. If that's how you want to operate with me, then wait for my call. If you're in a hurry, 300 years is not a long time. I might really call you then. But at this point in time, my diary is full. And then that's when they started with illegal action, which resulted with them being expelled from our party. In fact, on Friday, they took a decision to expel the further. I think another 5 or 6 or something. And I know there was a list that came through to Senate, and we had to expel even more of them. And I think let me give you facts, not fiction. I always tell people I don't believe in fiction in my life. That's why my family knows over the years liking to go to the movies. I always like to watch real movies, true stories. Fiction doesn't really relate to me. Look at Soweto. Out of the 44 councillors that we've got 44 councillors in the city of Johannesburg. Out of the 44, is it 21 or so of them? 22% of them are from Soweto. It's a fact. They've been there in the list because our list has not really changed. These are the people who were there given to the IEC. And we did not really have this number, this 22%, I think 25% of our councillors currently in the city of Johannesburg who are from Soweto. We didn't put them
them because they are from Soweto. We put them because they performed well during the interviews process when we're looking for PR members. So for those who are claiming to have worked hard, but there's nothing to show. I can tell you, colleagues, over the years in business, you know, I've hired so many people who would really be in my factory and they tell me they work hard. But when I look at their production, there's no production. So they work hard in their minds. So they must come to reality. When you work hard, I want to see production. If you have worked hard, then it's easy. People will have already won the awards. And now, we respect them. And I'm honestly feeling really sorry and pity for them because I'm aware about the high unemployment situation in South Africa. People are under impression that politics is a way of getting employment. I'm afraid, colleagues, ActionSA is not an employment agency. If I have my way, I will employ all 15 million unemployed South Africans. That is my wish. That is why I'm working so hard. That's why I left my business. I mean, I live here right now. From here, I'm going to Bongani, going to attend the night vigil. I'll only see my family tomorrow night. Because I'm concerned about what's happening in my country. But people cannot expect me to give them jobs or 18 million. It is just not really possible.
Sorry, just maybe a reaction on that, the Lily Man issue, Mr. Mashaba. What are your progressions around it? Are you happy around what has happened? And your visit there, what is that you're anticipating?
Well, Lily Man, it's actually one of the sad moments of our democratic dispensation. It hurts me. It hurts me deeply. As ActionSA in legal fees to date, just over 1.3 million and growing. To the BRP, Business Rescue Practitioners, in violation of court orders, management supported and defended by the Department of Minerals and Energy, where criminal elements are unleashed against these families to leave that site. So tomorrow, it's 1,000 days where these people are camping. I don't know if some of you have been to that camp. If it doesn't break you, then nothing will. For me, it breaks me because I remember when I was invited the first time, I came back a broken man, and I made a promise to them, I'm going to do everything possible to make sure that that container is retrieved. We demonstrated today legal cost, 1.3 million rand, which we don't have, but we had to find a way to help that money to ensure that one day that container must be retrieved. So I'm going to be there with the family to really show my support, not financial support. I want to give them my emotional support. That I'm going to pray, and I pray to God that one day South Africans and people of the world, particularly those who always say Black Lives Matter. These are 3 black lives. The youngest being 22. On the 5th of February, it will be 6 years that the container is down. And you and I, we carry on with our lives and play golf, go to restaurants. I'm saying no. I said to my family, let me go and actually show my support. They know very well that I am supporting them legally, very expensive legal exercise, but I'm going to go and show my physical and emotional support because it's something that hurts me. It makes me cry inside because I just cannot understand when people talk about Black Lives Matter, but here is 3 innocent black families. Their families with the container, only 70 meters down. The democratic government of Nelson Mandela is making it difficult for these families to get this container out. But one thing I can tell you, whether I'm alive or not, that container one day is going to be retrieved. Those families will get an opportunity to go and bury their loved ones and have their cases closed. I mean, one of family members, a young man, had to drop out of university because he couldn't concentrate any longer. So tonight, you can imagine, I'm going to deal with those families. People are still crying because this matter is still alive to them. You know, for you and I, it's 3 people underground in a container. There's no emotional attachment. But now, those families, for some of you, if you pay each other, you can imagine. The families are just asking for closure. Please bring these remains of our families so that we can bury them with dignity, so that we know where we bury them. We are not prepared to another situation. It can be tomorrow, it will be 1,000 days. That's why they are having a night vision, which I'm going to be part of tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mashaba. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap. Thank you so much, as always, for your time. I know that you're all going to be rushing up here to talk to Bongani. I have to tell you that I've got a couple already that are scheduled, so please touch base with me first, and then we will go one after the other, just like that. But just bear with us. It's crazy at the moment. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it.
And then, if you don't mind, I hope you can release me. I'd like to get to Barberton. It's a 5-hour drive. I want to get there before sunset.